The Indiana Pacers, man. I mean, I cannot even imagine how it was to be in that game. I mean, I know it was in Madison Square Garden, not in Indiana, but either of it, I cannot imagine how Knicks fans feel, and I cannot imagine how Pacers fans feel. But this was a game that Knicks they had to win. I mean, both teams had to win if we're being honest. Well, you're in the conference finals. It's game one. You want to get the first game, especially at home for New York. But when you get 88 points from Cat and Jalen Brunson combined on 62% from the field, and you lost, it's not a great thing. They had 15 turnovers to, I believe, the Pacers 7. The Pacers don't turn the ball over. We know that Halliburton. Once you get if Halliburton is confident and he is scoring, he is facilitating the way he wants to. That is so scary for the Knicks. I think he ended up with 31 and 11. Um, Obviously he was probably the second most, the second hero for Indiana, but we'll get there. I mean, yeah, 31 and 11, 12 for 23, 4 for 12 from 3, but I mean, only two turnovers and one was him giving the ball to Karl Anthony Towns at the end of the game. So, um if Halliburton is confident, it's a great sign for Indiana. Um And before we get to the the fourth quarter overtime, how this game ended. The Knicks they went cold from 3 in the second quarter. That was one of the things that I noticed that happened. It didn't really matter too much because Pacers had 0 field goals in over 5 minutes and they only ended up trailing by 10 or less points at that time. So again, didn't hurt them too much. But I think the main thing that differentiates this series is the thing I talked about, and the reason I picked the Indiana Pacers to win this series in 7. The depth, man. I mean, the depth. No matter whether New York gets swept or New York wins this series, wins the NBA Finals, whatever. No matter how this series goes, they need to address the depth. They just can't do this, man. I know how Tom Thibodeau plays. I know how he's coached his since the Bulls. He was when he was a Timberwolf. Like I know this is what he does, but I mean, Mikal Bridges 46 minutes, Hart 44, OG 42. Now, granted, it was an overtime game, so there was 5 extra minutes in this game. But I mean, you gotta find people that you can trust, man, especially at the wing position. Because even though the Knicks' depth is not great, they've got guards. They got McBride and they got Campaign sometimes when he's on. When he's on, he's on. He was 2 for 7 today. So was Deuce. And then you've got Mitchell Robinson for as a big who one of the most impactful players of the playoffs so far for off the bench. Because 2 points, but 8 rebounds, a steal, a block. How many of those 4 of his rebounds were offensive? They do have Precious who didn't play in this game, but they don't have anyone to play wing. It's really hard OG and uh Mikal like covering for each other. And it's just not great. They need to address it more than anything. Again, no matter how this series goes. And then you look at the other side and you think, man, okay, the Knicks have the upper hand talent for sure, right? Cat Brunson consensus, I think, is probably better than the two Halliburton and Siakam for the Pacers. And then I would say, OG, Mikal, these guys are better than an Aaron Neesmith. They're better than an Andrew Nemhard. So they've got the upper caliber role players as well. But they've got nothing. Like they literally have nothing else. And it amazes me that the Knicks, I mean, because this isn't the first year. It was like this last. where in Indiana they have, Obi Toppin coming off the bench, who gave you 8 points, 10 rebounds. TJ McConnell, who in 14 minutes gave you 10, 4, and 2. Benedict Mathurin, who in 21 minutes gave you 9 points, 3 rebounds. Thomas Bryant even had a 13-minute stretch to where he was there to, combat Mitchell Robinson for the rebounds. But it just, when you are going against a team that can take their star player out in Hallie and be confident and not have to worry, ooh, okay, we got to get him in 2.5 minutes. No, you can just let him get a few minute break. You don't have to feel insane because you have, a player that really shouldn't be playing in playoff time handling the ball, or being one of your main shot creators or something like that. So, um it's just amazing. Again, that is literally the reason I picked the Indiana Pacers. Um, again, both teams started the game with great shot making. Pacers were 9 for 9 to start the game, where everybody in the starting lineup had scored. Um, and again, that's just something you love seeing, because I don't know what the exact stat is, but it's something along the lines of when Halliburton makes his first shot or something like that, he attempts more in those games than when he misses his first, And I don't remember if he made his first, but I'm just saying they need Hallie to be aggressive this whole series and even the next series if they make it there. The Pacers tried to so many different defenders on Jalen Brunson. At one point, I think it was in the second or third quarter, Reggie Miller was like, "Here's the fifth different defender we've seen," and and it was Siakam at that time. Like they've tried they did Neesmith, who did a good job. He drew a couple. I think he drew 2 offensive fouls on Brunson in this game, which made Brunson be in foul trouble for pretty much the whole fourth quarter and overtime. And I mean, again, if you don't have a primary, then it's a little concerning. But again, when most of your team can defend, I don't really mind it. Again, it's not like, let's not act like the Pacers dominated the Knicks or did this something more like insane to happen, because I mean, you look at the stats like straight up. I mean, the shooting percentage was almost identical throughout this game. There was nothing really like the rebounds, which is something I was worried about. For the Knicks, the Knicks actually won the rebound battle by 7. And it's like, okay, maybe they got more offensive rebounds. The Knicks had more offensive rebound, right? So like that, that goes out the door. Points in the paint wasn't too different to where it mattered too much. And fouls are the same. So like there's not really, you look at the stats and see what differentiated the game. It was just a collapse. And now we will get to after the Mitchell Robinson, huge in this series. He's been huge the whole thing, playoffs, whether he could shoot a free throw or not. The Pacers didn't really do that to him this game with the free throws like the Celtics had been doing, or the Pistons. But he's big time, and he's great to have when your other center is such a like the opposite player, where he's all offense, not really amazing defense, but they're both great rebounders. But Mitchell Robinson is one of the best offensive rebounders we have. But the Knicks started off the fourth without Brunson because he picked up his 5th foul super early, and that's when the Knicks grew their lead, which surprised me. Because they went on a big run. I believe the most they were ever up by was 17 with 6.5 left in the fourth quarter. And then obviously around the 4.5 minute mark or so is when the Neesmith threes started, when Neesmith made his first 3. And if anyone who doesn't know, Neesmith made 6 threes in a row from the 4.5 minute mark all the way until the end of regulation. As in the shots he took. He took 6 threes and they all went in a row. It's not saying he took 6 threes and those are the only shots. Those are the only 6 shots that the Pacers took. But when he shot the ball 6 times from 3, and they all went in to spark that comeback. He ended with 30. He was 8 for 9 from 3. 2 big free throws at the end where he tried to get up another to tie the game, but the Knicks opted to foul. He was 9 for 13 in general. He was even in foul trouble at the end of this with 5. Nembhard had 5, but this is a great sign. I mean, it was a great, great game to watch. And the Knicks just kind of they started off the fourth quarter hot, and then they ended not hot whatsoever. And it just that's just a really bad one to lose. I don't know what is up with this Indiana team where they just love coming back from they just love having comebacks. They were down the Knicks led by 9 points with 53 seconds left, and they lost this game. This is the third time. This is the third or fourth time the Pacers have done this in this playoffs alone, and it had never been done. You have to get to the point where you ask yourself, is this going to be the best Pacer team of all time? Right? And it's crazy, right? We know the Paul George Pacers where they were battling LeBron and doing whatever. So I'm not ready to jump there yet, but I mean, back-to-back conference finals, they have become, I mean, is there a clutch team award? Because it goes to the Indiana Pacers without a doubt. Again, Halliburton had a great game. Some other stats, I mean, Siakam 17, 5 and 6, 2 steals. Miles Turner had 14. Nembhard 15. Like they had 6 players in double digits and 2 more knocking on the door. Like, and then you go to the Knicks side again. We talked about Cat and Brunson gave you 88 on 62%. Mikal Bridges had 16 points. Josh Hart 8, 13 and 7. He's always gonna have stuff the stat sheet. Even if it's not scoring wise. OG had 16 points, 3 steals, 3 blocks. He was big down the stretch too, especially in that time where Brunson was out of the game. But I don't know. Maybe we see some Precious Achua in the next game. I don't know. Because obviously the depth isn't anything that the Knicks can fix now. We're in the conference finals. It's not like they could go sign someone or trade for somebody. But great win by the Pacers. The Pacers are, I mean, it just blows my mind what they've been able to do. I think Halliburton is, I'm sure you've seen the stat too. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he was like 10 for 11 on clutch shots in the playoffs or whatever like that. And it was, or not the playoffs, maybe this season, maybe it was his career. I don't know, but he is just shine in the moment. If that shot to end regulation was a 3 and he did the Reggie Miller thing, where he pointing at Reggie Miller, doing the choke thing, that would have been an all-time. I mean, it still is an all-time moment because they won the game. But if that was a 3 and not a 2, with it bouncing off the rim over the backboard and coming back down and in, I mean, just an insane way to end this game, man. This series probably is going to go, long. It looks like it's going to go longer than the Western Conference matchup just based off the first game. But I mean, I don't know how the Knicks, again, they didn't play a bad game. They got to do a little bit better on defense, both teams, because, again, 138, 135. I know it went to overtime, but you take away overtime, it was still 120, it was 125 to 125 in regulate. Like 125 points is a lot. 17 lead changes. The Pacers' biggest lead was 7 points with 8 minutes left in the first quarter. The Knicks had control of this game. That's a bad one to lose. And hopefully they bounce back from this game.